Okay, so this is course drawing number 9 of 2023. Um, Please read the question. You can see what is given. It's a front view and a top view of a triangle as well as a pentagon hole inside of the triangle. Let's look at the instructions. Draw to scale 1 is equal to 1 the following views of the solid. The given front view, which is going to be this one. A sectional top view on cutting plane SS, so a sectional top view. A sectional left view with the parts above cutting plane SS removed. Okay, so looking at the planning, a front view, a top view, then it is a left view and a right view, and then they ask for a, a sectional left view, which means no right view is going to be drawn. And then lastly, the true shape of the cut surface. So if we look at the front view, the true shape is going to be there. So looking at my planning, if I want to put it on my paper, if I can do my front view in the middle, the top view, the left view, and then there would be enough space for my true shape. So I'm going to start by drawing this point, let's call that A, somewhere at the bottom in the middle. Okay, now that we have the given drawn, we can start the drawing. So firstly, I'm going to start with the top view because it's already there. So I'm going to put my ruler in, shift the 90-degree ruler to see where it's going to cut. And the first place it's going to cut is somewhere along these lines between line 1 and 2 and 1 and 3. So basically, if I do the cut, I'm going to start the cut on this place and this place, and I'm still going to see a flat space to the right of the cut, which means if I draw the line in like this, everything on the left is going to be a cut, and this is still going to be a flat space, which means I can hatch around the pentagon. And then my top view is done. Next, I'm going to look at my left view. So I'm just going to draw a 45-degree line to carry all of this over towards my left view. This is going to be 3, E, D, 1 and A. So if I look at my left view, the cut is going to be there, which means if I'm looking from this side, we are basically going to see number 1 and 2 and 1 and 3. So first I'm going to draw only my triangle. We start with the biggest thing first. Okay, now we have the triangle in construction lines. I'm going to start shifting my ruler up. The first place that it's going to cut is going to be on line 1, 1. I'm making my mark there, cross it, number 1. Next it moves up. Now it's cutting there, which means I must go back to my top view and take this and that point over with to my 45 to find where it's going to cut between line 2 and 1 and between line 3 and 1. So it's going to cut there and there. So that's a cross and that's a cross. Which means now I can draw in from number 1 towards the 1 cross and then towards the other cross and then connect them to one another. Okay, now asking myself, if I put my ruler there, what is left? From cut number 1, I'm still going to see everything that goes down. So from cut 1, I'm drawing down. From cut, I'm drawing down. Okay, now I'm going to insert my pentagon. Again, shifting my ruler up, the first place it's going to cut is on A. So I'm making a mark on A and numbering it A. Next place it's going to cut is on B and D. So on D, B, and E. B and E. Then exactly on C and D. C and D. Then from A towards B, from B towards C, C towards D, there's already a line. D to E, and then E back to A. Okay, now I'm asking myself, am I going to be left with anything? If I look at C, I'm going to see the line of C that goes down. The same with D. I'm going to see D that comes down. A, B, and E I'm not going to see, which means that is my left view. Now lastly, I must do my cut. So for the cut, I'm going to take one of my triangles at 90 degrees, shift my ruler in, and I'm going to draw two lines. The first line is a construction line just below, and then the second line is going to be XY line. Okay, so the first line is just for guidance. I'm going to put my ruler on that, and then I'm just going to draw the lines where it cuts. So the first cut that I see there is on C and D. The second place it's going to cut is on B and E. then A, and then on 1. Okay, now we are going to take the measurements from this XY line towards my top view, take the measurements and carry them over to these lines so that we can get the true shape. So firstly, I'm going to start with 1. And I'm going to number it 1. Then A, B, and E, C, and D. And then on line C and D, we are going to find the furthest cut, which means on C and D, I'm going to find the furthest cut. Now it's above my lines that I've already marked. And then the same line, closest cut of the triangle. Okay, now we are going to start at number 1. And I'm going to draw it as I see it there. Okay, so I'm going to start drawing a line from 1 to the furthest away, which is 3, which is that point. Then from C towards D. Because there's a hole, there's not going to be a line from D towards C. So from D, I'm going to E, E back to A to B, B towards C, and then C is going to the other point that's closest to number 2, and then the closest to number 2 goes back to number 1. And then because this is a true shape, we are also going to hatch it. And then it's done.